Welcome, everyone, to my next video. And it's another Smash-related one, but it's a video I think needs to be made. And what would that be? Well, it's another unscripted video, by the way. I'm still working on, my next commentary, which will be scripted. So, what is this video? It's why I feel like Fire Emblem is one of the most unrepresented series of Smash. Now, I can already hear some of you going, what? Fire Emblem? The series with 8 character slots in the roster. Right, yeah, Fire Emblem. Unrepresented well. Well, let's just say, as a Fire Emblem fan, I at least know a bit about what I'm talking about. And by the end of this, I will try my best to get to anyone who watches this video to understand why I feel Fire Emblem is not represented well. So, let us begin. But first, history. So, there was no Fire Emblem in Smash 64. Fire Emblem was not represented, though Marth was considered and planned to be in Smash 64, but that didn't happen. So, Fire Emblem was not in that game. Then we go to Melee, where Fire Emblem finally began its reign. Now, just a second, because it finally did begin its reign of greatness. So, yeah. Okay, so we got Super Smash Bros. Melee. It's a pretty good game, as we all know. But how great was it? Great was it in Fire Emblem representation? Well, I thought Melee did okay. As you know, we got Marth and Roy. Roy being a clone, because that game liked having clones. We got Ganondorf, Marth. We got Ganondorf, Roy, Pichu, Dr. Mario, Young Link, and Falco. Though, similar to Ness and Captain Falcon of Smash 64, Fire Emblem did not get a stage. The closest thing to a stage they got was Temple, which was a Zelda stage. So yeah. I'd say that's the closest because that's where the music plays. Anyway, so obviously it's a little disheartening that happened. But hey, don't worry. While that may be an issue, for the time being it was okay. It was alright that was the case. But sadly, as time went on, we would eventually have quite an issue. But now it's time for Brawl. Roy was gone. They cut Roy out of existence, as they did for almost all the clones except for Falco and Ganondorf. But in its place was Ike, from Path of Radiance / Radiant Dawn. But the Ike they used in Brawl was from Path of Radiance. So, yeah. And we also got a stage finally, Castle Siege, and I'll get to my issues with Castle Siege later, when I'm actually talking about horrible representation. But, just know that right now we're doing okay. Brawl wasn't too bad, and hey, Marth and Ike were pretty cool in the subspace. Marth teaming up with Meta Knight, Ike saving the two with a big slash to the bomb. It was all awesome. It was great. It really was. But, next we got Smash 4. And, well, by the way, no music change this time since this song is in all of them now. I mean, the other one was too, but, change. Anyways, Smash 4. Smash 4 was a pretty cool game. But this is where people's hate for Fire Emblem began. Ike returned. And in the base roster, we got Robin and Lucina. Lucina being a clone of Marth. Yeah. But it was okay. Until, DLC came. We got Roy back. Everyone was happy. And then, Corrin. Yeah, people didn't like Corrin. Why? It was another Fire Emblem character, meaning 6 to the roster. And also, because Corrin's game technically didn't come out. Even though it's kind of strange that people treat that as a surprise. Like, they forget that Roy had the exact same thing. I'm sorry, Roy and Corrin have the exact same thing. Both of the times they came out on their debut game, they were there because of promotion. Roy's game, Binding Blade, didn't come out in Japan until after Melee came out, and it didn't even come out to the West. So, don't know why Corrin is getting the issue here when Roy is kind of even worse because Roy's didn't come out to us anyways. But whatever. The seeds were planted. Smash fans weren't too happy with Fire Emblem. Anyways, after that was Ultimate. And Ultimate had everyone from every game come back. That includes all the Fire Emblem characters. But we did get, on the base roster, one extra one, Chrom. And then in DLC, the final fighter of the Fighter Pass was Byleth. So, yeah. Martha. Byleth, and this is when an all-time high for hatred of Fire Emblem came. So much that a mod was made to get rid of them. Okay, now that the history is gone and we're now at where we are now, the end of Ultimate, it's time for me to discuss why I, personally, think Fire Emblem is not represented well. Let's backstep a bit, okay? So we got 8 Fire Emblem characters. Now here's the problem. This series represents the series like absolute dog shit. Absolute horseradish. Why? Well, okay. First of all, we got the characters. Let me go through them all. We got Marth, a blue-haired swordsman. We got Roy, a red-haired swordsman with fire. Ike, a blue-haired swordsman who hits really hard. Robin, a tactician who has magic but fights with a sword. Lucina, a blue-haired swordswoman. Corrin, a prince or princess, depending on the gender, who can transform into a dragon and wields a sword. Chrom, a swordsman who's the father of the swordswoman. And lastly, Byleth, who is a teacher/professor who wields a sword as well as some other relics. that are different weapons, but mainly a sword. Now, if I haven't driven my point further, all the characters are sword-based. And here's the issue. Fire Emblem has lots of classes. Some classes don't wield a sword. Yet, for some reason, Fire Emblem Sakurai has been obsessed with it. To the point where Robin, Corrin, and Byleth feel more gimmicks. As in, oh, Robin has magic. See? Different. But he still has a sword. Oh, Corrin can transform body parts into dragon parts. Different. Still has a sword. Oh, some of Byleth's aerials and specials have them using relics. But the main weapon is a sword. The classes are more like gimmicks in Smash. It's just, instead of making a moveset for a character who only wields it, they are only allowed to use, the classes as gimmicks, but sword has to be the main thing. And here's the biggest issue. It's some kind of weird rule that Fire Emblem has to use main characters as its thing. It's odd, isn't it? Why is it only this series? Other series, like Mario, gets villains. But Fire Emblem, no, it's just the main characters. No side characters, no villains, just main characters. Now, before you say maybe that's why it's only swords, no, there are some Fire Emblem characters that are main characters that don't wield a sword. Hector doesn't wield a sword. He wields an axe. Edelgard, as much as I think she's a plank of wood and a terrible character, she wields an axe and would be far better. Yeah. A character I don't like, I would rather have in Smash than a character I do like. Because a lot of the characters I do like, but they have swords, so please give us someone who doesn't. And lastly, Ephraim, from Sacred Stones, wields a spear, or lance. Whatever. Basically, there are characters that wield a different weapon. Why are we only allowed... weapon that's a sword? Come on. Make a spellcaster that doesn't have a sword and only has magic. Make an archer. Make a lance user, an axe. A dragon without a sword. There is so much you could try doing. There are lots of classes. There are so many. There's axe unit. There's classes like fighters that uses axes, soldiers, clerics, mages, archers. There's Manicheets, which are the dragons, by the way. There are so many classes they could use that don't just wield a sword, but they go for the characters that do. And that's the issue. They use the characters who are obviously going to play kind of similar, instead of going for characters that would be better. Like, heck, why can't we get other characters that are not main characters? Come on. But, yeah, that's our big issue. My big issue isn't the fact that it's a big roster count. I don't care how much they have. I would just like them to have characters that don't just have one weapon. Like, come on. This is absolute dog shit. Please, Smash 6. Please give us a character for Fire Emblem that doesn't have a sword. Please. Like, here's the issue. Comparing to Mario and Pokemon, the other two that have a big roster count, It's absolute bad. Because Mario and Pokemon, I can only think of one from each that don't really need to exist for representation. Dr. Mario doesn't represent much for Mario's side, while all the others have something. And Lucario, I'm pretty sure, is better Gen 4 Pokemon you could use than Lucario. Yeah, Pichu at least represents baby Pokemon, so Pichu at least has that going for it. Fire Emblem? Okay, we do not need Chrom and Lucina. Robin does the job good enough. Byleth represents the new era of Fire Emblem. And the third one that I don't think needs to exist is Corrin. I like Fates, but Fates isn't a game that needs to be represented on the character select. Trophies, spirits, sure, not the character select. So, yeah, that's 3 from the 8 that I don't think need to exist. Heck, I could even say maybe Roy and Ike don't need to exist. But I like Roy and Ike, so I'll just let them be. The head is pretty bad. And that's because most of them use a sword. It's really depressing. But anyways, let's just go over the other parts of representation. Characters are a big thing, obviously, and obviously the thing that gets talked about the most. So, stages. We got 4 stages in Ultimate. Castle Siege, Arena Ferox, Colosseum, and Garrick Mach Monastery. Only 2 of the 4 are representations of actual areas of the game, being Arena Ferox being a location in Awakening, and Garrick Mach Monastery being the main school hub of Fire Emblem Three Houses. While Castle Siege and Colosseum are generic things that kinda reference something. Colosseum is, I guess, kinda a representation of the arenas that you can sometimes go to like level up and stuff. And Castle Siege is just kinda it's just a generic sieging of a castle that sometimes happens in games. Most of the time. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Castle Siege had one reference to a game. Path of Radiance with the Black Knight in the background of the second area. Then they take it out in the later game, so now we're back to genericy. Wonderful. Anyways. Okay, items. 1, and this 1 came from this exact game. And what is it? A sword. The Going Edge. Because we didn't have enough swords of Fire Emblem already in Smash. Then, assist trophies, we got Lyn, Black Knight, and Tiki. First of all, those 2 came from Ultimate. Lyn is the only one that was in the previous games. Lyn and Black Knight have a sword. But Tiki's an actual Dramatic who doesn't wield a sword. Why is the only time we're allowed to see a character in this series that doesn't wield a damn sword is an assist trophy? Why couldn't we have had this character be in the game? Why can't we have a character who doesn't wield a sword? Whatever. Man, this series is driving me insane. Okay. So yeah, and I guess it's pretty good. Okay, well, next would be... Okay. I guess next would be talking about the other parts. First of all, the series icon is the Falchion. But you wouldn't know this if you're just if you're not a Fire Emblem fan. you'd just see that as a sword. Yes, this series is literally represented by a sword. It would be like representing the Zelda series by the Master Sword. And the Fire Emblem does have something. The literal game has, in some of its games, they have something called the Fire Emblem, which is a shield with a unique design. It's at least something more than just this. But, of course, we just have the sword. Okay, music. Music, I think, is represented pretty okay, except for on the Fates side. The Fates, they really only like giving us Lost in Thoughts all alone. I don't know why we need another remix and Ultimate, but okay. And then lastly, trophies / spirits / stickers. I think this is the best they've done for us. This lets us see other characters, especially spirits. I mean, who would have thought we'd see a spirit of Board and Cord? But hey, there we are. There we go. Sad. This series. And here's the problem. Other series like Sonic and Metroid and others might not be represented the best, but that's probably because they weren't given enough to be represented that great. But Fire Emblem, it's had ample opportunity. Ample. Given so much shit. But they don't do anything with the shit they give them. Please. I'm okay with 8. Just give us characters that are different. Now, do I think if they start doing this that it's going to be better? And people will be happy? Fire Emblem fans? Probably. But no. Not Smash fans as a whole. Why? Here's the depressing thing. Corrin and Byleth has damaged its reputation beyond repair. Honestly. If we were to get a reveal of Hector, it wouldn't matter that he has an axe and not a sword. It only matters that he is a Fire Emblem character. And Fire Emblem characters is the issue now. Corrin and Byleth have injured the series beyond repair. There is no going back. There'll probably be more Fire Emblem characters eventually. But sadly, the game is probably going to... Sadly, I just don't see them ever truly repairing after this. It saddens me to say that, but that's the truth. So... yeah. As a Fire Emblem fan, it saddens me to know that Fire Emblem may never get the true representation it deserves. And that's why I personally think it's one of the least represented series of the game. Fire Emblem is a case by case of just because they have 8 characters in the game currently doesn't mean they're represented well. Doesn't mean it. In fact, guess what? I would say things like DK and Metroid are way better represented. I'm playing Metroid, so maybe I'll eventually change my mind on that. But at least they have their main core characters in. Fire Emblem is just kind of the exact same dude over and over. So, hopefully, I was able to convince some of you of what I think. I know this won't change anything. Fire Emblem will forever be the series people keep thinking is stupid. But, yeah. So, this ends my video of why I think Fire Emblem is not a well-represented series in Super Smash Brothers. The best series that have the best representation, by the way, ironically, was probably... yeah, I would probably say it was probably Brawl. Anyways, see you later, everyone.